Today I wanted to review a new release from Thomas Nelson. This is the Parallel New Testament, and the translations in this are the New King James Version and the NET, New English Translation. And they also have the NET notes in here, which are something that a lot of people enjoy as well. It says unparalleled insights with over 17,000 translators' notes. The NKJV-NET Parallel New Testament provides a unique Bible reading experience by pairing two faithful and trusted translations. Unlike any other parallel Bible, this edition includes over 17,000 translators' notes from leading biblical language scholars to create an indispensable resource for Bible readers. And it talks about each of the translations, which I won't read over all of that because I've kind of gone over that before. Then it says, unique parallel edition of the New Testament, over 17,000 translators' notes from the NET Bible, additional space on select pages for personal note-taking. It's a Smithsonian binding, has a satin ribbon marker, and it has a 9-point font. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at this. I have the black leather soft edition. So this red stitching looks really nice here. Sorry, I just had a message come up on my iPad. I had to quick clear that off. I like the red stitching around the perimeter and down the center here. You're also going to see it around the perimeter and the back. We're going to have one red ribbon marker, double-sided satin ribbon. Our spine has Parallel New Testament, NKJV-NET, or NET with the NET notes. NET, NKJV, the little symbol for Thomas Nelson. It has silver page gilding. And you can see this is as thick as some Bibles, and it is only the New Testament. But, I mean, it has two translations in here, and it has all those translators' notes, so you have to remember that as well. All right, so we're going to have a presentation page with a paste-down liner. Table of contents. And it has about the parallel edition, so definitely read that first before you jump into your new Bible. We have the story of the New King James Version, a preface to the New King James Version New Testament, to the reader, an introduction to the New English Translation, features of the NET New Testament translators' notes. All right, then we're going to get into our New Testament here. All right, so we're going to have our chapter numbers, our headings, and the names of the books of the Bible in red. I love the font of the New King James Version, and the NET translation is really nice too. Thomas Nelson does a great job with their comfort prints. They're nice and bold. So even this 9-point font, which isn't huge, it's a good size for me, but it's not huge, reads really well. Line spacing's great, and just a really nice layout here. So you're going to have the New King James Version, you're going to have the NET translation, and then over here on the opposite page are going to be your translator's notes. These are notes if you have the NET Full Notes Bible, these are the same notes. I don't know if they have all of them. I think they might have all of them. It's over 17,000, so it's a lot either way. And then at the bottom here, you're going to have some space for your own notes. I don't know if you can see it, but there's really faint lines here. There's like 5, or actually there's more than that. These were so faint up here, I didn't even see them. There's like 10-ish lines there that you can take notes on. And this same layout continues throughout the Bible. So it's going to line up completely chapter 2 of the NKJV, chapter 2 of the NET. So they're truly are parallel. They're right beside each other. So this is just really nice for comparison, especially if you're just getting into one of these translations or you're trying to deeply study through a passage or a particular book. This would be a really great Bible to do that with because look at all these translators' notes. This is the notes over here. As I said, the scripture's over here. So you got your double column scripture and then your double column notes. And then you have some space for your own notes. This is a red letter text, but Thomas Nelson does a great job with red letter. It's nice and consistent. So if it could be a little bit darker maybe if I'm going to nitpick, but it's pretty good. Like I wouldn't, if I picked this up, I wouldn't have an issue. And I'm not a big red letter person, so don't have an issue with that. Yeah, so this is a nice way to study your way through the New Testament. If you're reading through the New Testament, I've seen some people doing a reading of like the New Testament in a year because so you can really do a deep dive. This would be a great Bible to do that with. You could jump into those notes as well, you know, pull out your study Bible, read it in 2 different translations because they're right beside each other. That's super convenient, especially for someone like me who likes to compare translations. I don't even have to get 2 Bibles out. I have them right here. All right, let's go ahead and look at the end of the Bible here. Make sure I didn't miss anything here. I did a little bit. All right, excuse my arm. All right, so that is the end of Revelation. All right, so once we get to the end of Revelation, we have the NET Bible Principles of Translation. We have abbreviations for biblical books and non-biblical literature, so like the Apocrypha and other ancient documents as well, which I don't know a lot about that, so that's helpful for me to know what that means. General abbreviations. Sorry, I actually like stapled my finger yesterday. Not like, it wasn't too bad, but it's like catching on everything now. Probably should have a Band-Aid on that, but that's one reason why my hand's not working very well, because it keeps catching on the page. All right, we have a list of cited works. That's going to go on for a bit here. All right, just checking I didn't miss anything. All right, this is abbreviations and introduction to principal manuscript evidence for the Greek New Testament. This would be great for someone in seminary too, or someone like, you know, really, it's really for anyone, but it's just so much information in here. So Hebrew and Greek transliteration. So if you're interested in knowing why certain words were translated the way they were, this is a really great option because it has a lot in here. A lot of the translator notes are pretty much about that. So super helpful. All right, we're going to get some blank pages here at the end. And then we are at the end of the Bible. So if you are looking to study through the New Testament, I would really recommend this one because you can study through the New Testament with 2 translations, the New King James Version and the NET translation, right beside each other. And plus, you have all those translator notes in there as well. So in one pretty portable Bible here. I mean, it is only New Testament, but still, it's a nice portable size, and you could easily take it on the go to Bible study with you or wherever you're heading. So it'll be a really great option to do a deep dive study of either a book of the New Testament, the whole New Testament, even a particular theme in the New Testament you could look up. So definitely highly recommend this. This is the Parallel New Testament of New King James Version and NET with the NET notes, and this is recently released from Thomas Nelson.